It is now my great pleasure to introduce to you our speaker for today's for today's convocation until I brought last year's script. Mr. Wilson Casey is the national superhero of trivia. He's a newspaper columnist, a published author, a political humorist, an entertainer, and a world record holder of 2 Guinness World Records, one for a trivia marathon and one for radio broadcasting for a 30-hour live continuous broadcast on radio station WKDY-AM on January 9th and 10th of 1999. He talked for 30 consecutive hours, which he promises me he's not going to do today. But during the 30 hours, he was asked and identified the correct answer to, ready for this, 3,333 questions. Mr. Casey was born in Woodruff and graduated from Woodruff High School, where he was elected into the Woodruff High School Athletic Hall of Fame for tennis in 1991. How many Woodruff High School graduates do you have? He received a Bachelor of Science degree in Education from the University of South Carolina, Spartanburg, which is now USC Upstate. How many of you are planning to transfer to Upstate when you're done here? More? And he was twice MVP on the varsity tennis team there. From 1984 to 1991, he played in the amateur USTA tennis league and was a player on 7 state championship teams for the state of South Carolina, and was on 3 sectional championship teams, and went to 3 national championships. His weekly Bible trivia column appears in over 125 newspapers in the United States, and is nationally distributed by King Features Syndicate. His general trivia appears in over 500 newspapers across North America and has run continuously, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, since September 2000. And you all thought you would have a hard time memorizing things for a psych class. This guy has to do it all the time. He's created over 4,000 different trivia columns. He has taken his work to radio and television, where he has hosted or appeared on trivia programs for more than 22 years. He's been a celebrity contestant on NBC's The Weakest Link, and frequently appears as the golf trivia expert on the Golf Channel, and he doesn't play golf. Mr. Casey lives here in Spartanburg, and if you like what you hear today, you can find him on Wednesday nights from 7 to 9:30 at the Liquid Assets Bistro in Inman, hosting a trivia night. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the human file cabinet of facts, Mr. Wilson Casey.
Thank you, Dr. Key. Thank all of you. It's a great honor to be here at Spartanburg Methodist College and see so many bright faces, smiling faces, distinguished guests, hopefully lenient faculty when it comes to grading midterm. Right hand, right. Okay. I'm going to ask everyone, if you'd be so kind, if you would just stand up. Stand up. Okay, here's your first trivia tip. I want you to turn around one time. Everybody, turn around one time. So far, so good, right? All right, keep standing, keep standing. Statistics say that if you ask someone that, or you ask a group that, 90% of the time, the person will turn to the direction in which the hand they right with. Or if you're right-handed, then you turn to the right first, or if you're left-handed, then you turn to the left first. Okay. If you did not turn to your more dominant hand, I want you to please sit down. Okay? Spartanburg, in USCS, USC Upstate. Back in my era, we called it the branch. I'm a proud branch graduate. That's what we call it. When I was a student, I worked my tail off. I went in at 4 o'clock in the morning. I was a freeloader, UPS. I would load these trucks that you see running around town. I also worked on campus, and I was also on the tennis team. But I was determined to get a college degree. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. Sometimes I think I still don't know, but I did know that I did want to get a college degree. Folks, you get that college degree, it'll open so many doors for you, immediately and down the road throughout life. So I know sometimes it may be tough, but you got to keep, that's my word, I get that college degree, please, please. You may change majors several times, but at least keep fighting to get that college degree. As Dr. Keith was telling me, I've been really blessed to turn a little hobby of trivia into a full-time living. Trivia. I started, I'm like a sponge for new things. I like to learn things. Right after I got out of college, I was a teacher in the public school system down in the lower part of the state of South Carolina. And even though I've got 2 Guinness World Records, my last year in my school district, I got Teacher of the Year in my district. In my heart, that ranks right there with any Guinness World Record. I love working with young minds and students. Guinness World Record holder, you got a Teacher of the Year, he ranks, I even rank that above having Guinness World Record. Because I think I really made a difference with those young folks' lives. People say, well, maybe trivia became easy for me. No, it hasn't. Nothing comes easy. I write a column, but you know how tough the newspaper industry is. They're dropping things with fire and lighters. I write a column, and I may go back home and make 5 editors and drop it. That makes me more determined. I got to go call on 10 or 20 more editors around the country that'll hopefully pick up my little column. I'm thankful to Spartanburg Herald. They were the first paper that believed in me, and I'll be celebrating September 16th to be the 12th year of producing a 7-day-a-week column. I've never missed a deadline. The challenge of doing that is not easy, because I have to continually produce 6 questions a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, every holiday, and I got to be right most of the time. Hey, I'm not perfect. I screw up. When I do, the readers think I'm some kind of serial killer or something. Look, this is a trivia question. Kind of get over it. The thing, too, I speak and talk and really all over the country, but the thing that's consistent, I get to meet a lot of smart people, a lot smarter than me, a lot smarter than me. I believe in one saying, we're all ignorant. On different subjects. Everybody in here is an expert on something. We're all ignorant, only on different subjects. Pretty good word of advice. That came from the late great Will Rogers, which was a very famous humorist. We're all ignorant, but only on different subjects. And besides that, I believe we're all equal in the eyes of the Lord. I truly believe that. I believe we're all equal in the eyes of the Lord. And a little trivia. Every human being with a single cell for about 30 minutes. So we're all alike in that area, right? Every human being with a single cell for about 30 minutes. College teaches you to learn. It teaches you to think. It teaches you to think for yourself. Okay? All right, I'll give you a little story. There's this hardware store. Got a hardware store. Okay? Hardware store. This deaf and mute guy, I'm going to thank you for talk. He wants to go in and make some purchases. Okay? Got this hardware store, deaf and mute guy comes in, and he wants to buy a hammer. So he starts doing this. Okay? He starts doing this. Clerk kind of figures out deaf and mute puts a hammer, sold a hammer. Okay? All right, the deaf and mute guy also wanted to buy some nails. doing this, what's it, nails?
Yeah.
Nails. So we sold it down to nails. Okay, next comes in a blind man. He's tapping with his cane, and he wants to buy some scissors. So what does he do? What does he do? Gotcha. The blind man, he can talk. He can say, I want to buy some scissors, okay? My point is, you let me do your thinking. You let me do your thinking. You can do your own thing. Well, I guess if he did do that, he could use some scissors, but obviously a blind man can talk, okay? I'm going to ask a 30-year-old friend of mine, and trust me, he's older than 30 years old. Kent Huber, if you would step up here, please. Trust me, I'll watch him. I'll watch him. I'll watch him. You stand right here, and I hope that check broke clear to get you up here, okay? All right. We're all individuals, correct? Can't argue with that. We're all individuals. We're all individuals. We're all individuals. As an individual, I'm not getting anywhere, okay? But together, this is all of us, together, we can get somewhere. We can get somewhere. What's your title, Mr.? Wannabe doctor, professor, very thank you. Give it a round of applause. We may not look like us, we got that together, right? Right? Pressure. Oh my goodness. We all experience pressure. Pressure is really internal and it's self-defined. Pressure is nothing but how you react to things when they're thrown at you. Correct? True story. True story. I was younger than you. And I grew up in a country church, Antioch Baptist Church, between Woodruff and Henry, South Carolina. And myself and 3 other friends of mine, about every 4 to 6 weeks, it was our turn to take a collection. It was our turn to take a collection. Okay? And one of the persons who took up collections had to say the offertory prayer in front of the whole church. Ooh, big deal, big deal. We were kind of athletes and sporting guys. And we set you up for this church now. It's got a foyer, and then you open up this main auditorium. And before they took up offering, the usher would come in at the end of the second song. They'd be back here in the foyer. And then they open the doors and go down and get around the auditorium. I told you we were sporting guys. One of us had to say the prayer. You know what we did? I'm not proud of this. But we would throw quarters at the wall. So you had to say the prayer. We would throw quarters at the wall. I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of it. Okay. All right. So we're back there throwing quarters against the wall. I did not lose the coin toss. I did not lose the coin toss. I did not have to say the prayer. It's paranoid. Say a prayer in the church. My goodness. My quarter was closest to the wall. All right, second song, in come the ushers, the collection taker uppers. So we get down and we get up around the collection table. And we bow our heads, and the gentleman on the end, he was the one who had lost the coin toss. He was supposed to say the prayer, okay? Let me tell you what he said, okay? All right, we come into church, get around the offertory table, we bow our heads. Remember, I'm not looking at him. He says, Dear Heavenly Father, Wilson Casey will lead us in prayer this time. Say what? I was petrified. The only thing that I could come up with was, God is great, God is good. Let us thank Him for this bountiful offering we're about to receive. To this day, they said that was one of the best collection Sundays in Antioch Baptist Church. By the way, maybe I'll come to my senses. I'm now a United Methodist. I'm an active member of Trinity United Methodist over in Congress Hall. So anyway, maybe the Baptist over I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. Something else that I do daily. It may sound corny, but it works for me. I'm a very goal-oriented person. I like to get results. Every morning, I make a list of things that I want to accomplish that day. And I stick to that list. It may be I got to call such and such editor back, I've got to write this, I've got to really triple check that thing, I've got to call the literary agent, whatever. But I check them all. I do that. I know it's, but because if you would do something like that, and at the end of the day, you've got your list, it gives you a sense of accomplishment. Let's say you don't get everything done on your list. Well, I carry it over to the next step. That's my little secret. Another thing that has worked for me, I love the word buffet. I always have. Whenever I'm out, used to be whenever I was out driving, it seemed like my car was an automatic pilot. I go by a buffet sign, it just turns in there. Well, I ballooned up and was really, really overweight. I've lost 55 pounds. And I'll tell you how. I feel a lot better than all my blood pressure medicine, cholesterol, all that stuff. And the way I did it, again, corny, but it worked for me. I keep a journal of everything that goes into my mind. To me, it gives me that mental edge, like I'm going to get that chili cheese plenty. It makes me thinking, well, I don't have to write this down. I better not eat that. Like I make myself accountable. Another fact that you can take to the bank, what one eats in private shows in public. Remember that. What one eats in private shows in public. Right? It's an old saying, but a journey of 1,000 miles begins with that first step. And you students here at SMC, so proud of you, you're taking that first step. You got to keep on making steps. Life will be throwing you curves, but you can hang in there, and a few short years now, you have that college degree, and it will really make a difference in this world. People say, well, the trivia guy, I bet you got some favorite trivia questions. It seems like I've got several hundred of them. But one of my favorites is, all these legendary movie stars and celebrities. They always think you got to change their name to something else, right? We got to have one name. The thing about these fine actors, I'm going to give it to you, three of my favorites. They never changed their name. This was their name at birth. This is the name their parents gave them. Clint Eastwood. That's his real name. He didn't come up with some stage name or anything like that. Clint Eastwood, that's his real name. No, it's Dustin Hoffman. That's his real name. He didn't have to change it. And perhaps my favorite actor was Gene Hackman. That was his real name. He was proud of that at birth. I know one of my favorite trivia questions has to do with the late Red Fox. Red Fox. Back in the 70s, he had a popular TV series called Sanford and Son. You can still get it on cable or reruns or buy the CDs, however you want to do it. On the show, Red Fox portrayed a character named Fred Sanford. Did you know, there's trivia here, Red Fox's last name at birth was Sanford, and his older brother, who he emulated and worshipped, was named Fred. So in real life, Red Fox, as a memento to his brother, portrayed the character Fred Sanford. I love that story. You watch the end of Sanford and Son, hey, he's playing his real life brother. I also believe that I have several meanings of life. With trivia Guinness credentials, folks around the world, they ask me all these trivia questions, how do you solve the Middle East, how do you make world peace? I say, whoa, I don't have the answer for that. But I think the meaning of life, in my opinion, really is three things. I think you got to keep trying. You got to keep trying no matter what's thrown at you. That's one of my means of life. Got to keep trying. Another one is always helping others. To me, that's the meaning of life, too, always helping others. And the third, certainly not the last, in my opinion, my three meanings of life, is developing and nurturing relationships. Nurturing and developing relationships with friends, family, faculty, classmates, everyone else in the world. To me, meaning of life. Keep trying, helping others, and developing and nurturing relationships. That's in my heart what I believe the meaning of life is. The other thing, here's another little story that I like. There's his parents. They had a daughter, and she was eating too many sweets. Parents had a daughter who was eating too many sweets, and they thought it would be detrimental to her health. We've got to do something. So they took her to the doctor. The doctor, our daughter, was eating too many sweets. What can we do? And the doctor said, well, why don't you come back in 2 weeks? I said, 2 weeks? Okay. Well, the doctor got that together. Probably got more degrees than a thermometer. He probably knows what he's doing. Probably knows what he's doing. So they waited 2 weeks. Remember, mother and dad and their daughter was eating too many sweets. So they went back, after 2 weeks, went back to the doctor. And said, well, we're back. What can we do to make our daughter quit eating too many sweets? He said, well, you tell her to stop eating sweets and candy. And they said, you drug us and drug it out for 2 weeks to tell that little simple advice, stop eating sweets and candy? Well, the doctor said, before I could give you advice, I wanted to make sure that I could do it myself. So in other words, the doctor, he quit eating sweets and candy. The message is very clear on that little story. You do not want to ask someone to do something which you're not doing yourself. Do not ask someone to do something that you're not doing yourself. Okay? Before a group, we always got to play a little trivia, right? Where you're sitting right now, we got to play some trivia. Remember, we're all ignorant, only on different subjects, okay? Now, if you think you know this, and trust me, this first trivia question, either you know it or you'll figure it out. Okay? All right, here we go. What's the only state that when you spell it, it ends in the letter K? What's the only state that ends in K? Somebody knows this. Only state that ends in K. What? What? Fingerville? No, it's not Fingerville. Fingerville, no. Chesney? No, not state. New York! New York! Hey, New York! New York! New York! Trust me, I only ask your three questions to the group that don't be first before me. Okay? Alright, here's another one. Back in 1968, they weren't born, but it was a real year, all the McDonald's restaurants started adding something that is still there today in all the restaurants. 1968. Golden Arches, fried chicken, Ronald McDonald, no. Big Mac, no. 1968. Correct answer is female employees. Female employees. Okay, another trivia. The national, now some of you may do odd jobs and you may be doing some babysitting. The answer to this is going to help you, okay, when you start trying to figure out how much to charge. What do you think the national babysitting hourly average wage is in the United States? $2, $5, $10. Believe it or not, now nationally, the national babysitting average per hour is $12. Whoa, $12. California threw it out of the field, it's like 40 something out there. $12. Remember that if you have any babysitting jobs. All right, what do experts say is the most productive day of the week? What do you think? When are they supposed to productive day of the week? I heard someone say it. It is what the experts say. Trust me, you find expert on anything. But what they say is Tuesday. Tuesday. I guess Friday, you think about it. This one really got me big time. It may not get you if you're on the right lines. All right. While playing what particular sport? Statistically, the more death injuries.
Soccer.
Sport, the more death injuries occur. Skiing? No, that's a good guess. Snowboarding? No. Race running night? No. Cheerleading? That's a good guess. Hey, this got me too. The correct answer is golf. Because many players are being struck by lightning. Golf. I wouldn't think about that. I kept guessing. Okay, let's do a little Olympic trivia. The recent London 2012 games. I really got into that. Watching that. The question is, what was the most popular souvenir sold in gift shops at the London Olympic Games? I'm going to give you a clue here. It costs $2.30. What do you think is the most popular gift souvenir sold in London gift shops? Correct answer is chocolate gold days. Makes sense. $2.30. I believe that no one gets anywhere in life without someone helping you, someone believing in you. Maybe a classmate, maybe a professor, maybe your parents. It's more than likely a combination of all of them. Years ago, I was on a NBC game show called The Weakest Link, still showing on the game show network. And the Weakest Link studio was next door to Jay Leno in the Tonight studio. And then just across the hall, 10 feet away, was a big warehouse where they start out, they'd be on the beer factory. Okay? Well, I was a guest on the Weakest Link show. We hired, y'all know this is NBC. Green room, that's where you kind of hang out and relax before you go on the air. And off the green room, the large room that had like individual dressing booths. So anyway, I was on this show and I lasted, this show was an hour-long show. I went all the way out to the first thing, voted off. They voted you off. But I lasted 37.5 minutes. And going out there, the charity, first they selected the show, this Guinness World Record holder, and NBC gave the charity my choice $10,000. That was my church, Trinity United Veterans. But after I got voted off, I come back to the green room or my dressing room, and there's a gentleman there. I said, whoa, you folks are too young to know who this superstar was. But it was Dennis Weaver. Dennis Weaver played Chester on Gunsmoke. His hit TV series was McCloud. He was a superstar, especially in the late 60s and early 70s. Dennis Weaver was sitting there. So I struck up a conversation with Dennis Weaver. He's passed away now. You couldn't meet a nicer guy. My point is, Dennis Weaver helped Steven Spielberg. Most all of us have heard of Steven Spielberg. Dennis Weaver, remember, he was at the top of his game in Hollywood in the late 60s and 70s. And Dennis Weaver was telling me this story. He said, yeah, this young kid, Stevie, that's what he called him Stevie. He's trying to look at the direct movie, and I didn't know him and all that, so I finally gave him his chance. Dennis Weaver gave Steven Spielberg his first ever directing chance. It was a movie called Duel. Dennis Weaver was a salesman going down a mountain with 18-wheeler trying to kill it. Again, someone helping someone. Dennis Weaver inspired and helped Steven Spielberg. You never know where that little trigger is coming from in life. Someone is really, really going to make a big difference in your life and what you do. I call them their angels. They're angels on them. They really are. They really are. In closing, some of you will probably clap on that, but yeah, okay, yeah. I'm a preacher, happiness is a short sermon component, right? Being a trivia guy and researching, being a writer, I've invented a new word. I really have. I have invented a new word. I figured out the plural y'all. What? Plural y'all? Oh, it did mean. No, I figured out the plural y'all. You want to hear the answer? I want to thank all of y'all for having me today, okay?